Well, GM crops and vegetables, that's a big question. There's a lot of things that impact the prospects of introduction of GM crops and vegetables, and one of those is the tremendous investment, for instance, in deregulation. As you know, the United States has a very, I think, well put together deregulation system that is based on a lot of science, and if you're going to bring GM vegetables to market, you've got to do that science and take on that expense in order to satisfy the regulators and have the product approved. So that's one, I think, very critical aspect of it. As and maybe you don't know, but a lot of the individual species of vegetable seeds, the total market size is not that big, certainly not like field corn or soybeans or some of the big acreage agronomic crops. So one of the questions is, can you make the investment in deregulation, not let alone product development and the basic science that feeds that? Can you, take on that investment and have a payback over time? So that's one aspect. That's a very, basic question to the basic idea of introduction of GM crops and vegetables. The other, though, is consumer acceptance. And so while there are some GM vegetables in the marketplace, there's some sweet corn, there's squash. We understand that eggplant is coming in India with BT, and there's acceptance in the United States for those products that are marketed here. I think if I was going to bring a product to market, I would be very concerned about the public reaction, those forces that aren't supportive of GM crops and agriculture, and the problems they can make with public acceptance. So I think those are two of the key issues. I think the basic science is there. I think there's really good products that could be helpful to our customers, to the environment, to the consumer, to the sustainability of agriculture. So I think ultimately they're inevitable because they make sense, they solve problems, they feed people. I think they're very positive things for the world, and I think they're very important for the world. So I think there's an inevitability, but there's some problems along the way that we have to solve and try and bring them to market with consumer acceptance. We want people to embrace those. Robin, in retrospect, 10 years ago, there was Flavor Saver tomatoes, you might remember. And as somebody that was marketing products on the other side, I didn't necessarily wish for their great success. But in retrospect and kind of the big picture, today I wish they would have been very successful. If they'd brought a good tasting tomato to the consumer that would have been embraced, it would have solved a lot of these inordinate fears, calmed people down, helped them understand it, made it a regular part of their life. And I think from the consumer point of view then, acceptance in the future would have been very much smoother.